Hey, it's Jim's TV, man. We back with another video for the channel, man. And it's crazy, man. I've been watching these Vlad interviews with DOC. I've been listening to the potential of what DOC could have been lately. So just to hear from him is dope in any capacity, no matter what platform it's on. Uh, we respect legends over here. Um, but today he basically saying the making of the Chronic was hell. It was rough out here. At the time, Suge had all the Bloods around and things like that at Death Row. It was kind of a difficult environment for creatives and artists to be in. When they were pretty much in the recording process and writing and helping Dr. Dre cultivate and curate the music for the Chronic album, man. So we just gonna tap in with DOC and see what he had to say about why and how it was tough. Shout out to the platform and shout out to DOC, man. So let's get right into it.
You know, it's arguably the greatest hip hop album of all time. Definitely an album that's all the time referenced in comparison with a very small handful of other greatest rap albums of all time. And, you know, being around you, of course, being a child of the culture, growing up in hip hop, of course, it's still amazing to me that all of these different levels of disruption have been happening all around everybody involved, right? You've got, you know, Dre is create something beautiful for the world. Mr. Tone during the Chronic sessions, like.
So he asked him what was the temperature tone. He asked him what was the energy surrounding the recording process of the Chronic. And this is DOC responding, and this is where he gets into how he really feel.
Between the sessions, the NWA days, and the Chronic days, when it comes to the music being made, you know, the difference is that the element that's surrounding us while we're making music changed. It intensified on that, what's more to call gangster level, where it started being just a whole bunch of street corner kind of people that were really about that, like, instead of being about the music, like hanging out, you know. With NWA, it was still street guys hanging out. Some guys were street corner guys, but most of us were just musicians, and most of those people were just happy to be around great music. And so by the time they got to Death Row, the only difference was these are guys that were either on their way to penitentiary or just going on through the penitentiary. And this was like the amusement park for them, you know. For the rest of us, or at least for me, it was hell, you know, going in there and dealing with these folks on a day-to-day basis, because I never knew which day could be my day. That's some terrible shit happens to you, and, you know, but like I said, shit was overly protective, and folks knew, don't mess with that one, you know, the out. And so I always felt grateful to Suge for that, being able to exist in that space and not be, you know, so worried that something was going to happen, because it was still guys that was hanging around with that bully mentality that want to poke you and push the buttons because they know they can do it. They know you're not going to do nothing, kind of stuff. But for the most part, most of those guys were really respectful and just left me alone. And Snoop was always one to say, Doc, you never had to worry about nothing as long as I'm around you. I mean, me and my folks are going to always make sure that you are taken care of, which is why they made me a dog.
And see, that's the thing, man. You got to be careful who you bring around these situations and how they react and how people around you are going to react to them. Like at the end of the day, you know, if you there to make music, you there to make music. You don't have time for all of the extra BS, you know, when the extra things going around with people. It sucks that, you know, they gotta deal with that and go through that. But at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. He was protected. He was able to come out of that situation on top. But look at all of the downfall of all of the Death Row members, the MOB members, the Pyru members, the Leaders Park, you know, look at Maul James' situation. Look at what happened to Suge himself. It was a lot of chaos, man. And at the end of the day, you look back 30 something years later, and it's a lot of losers in that situation. So, again, shout out to the Vlad platform, shout out to the interviewer, and shout out to DOC, man. And that's it. That's all, folks, man. Jim's TV out, man. But be careful when you create these situations, man. Peace.